Hello and welcome everyone to beautiful Bathurst here tonight. It is going to be some GT4 action coming right at you. 23 corners, one large hill, and a lot of fun and racecraft to be demonstrated here tonight. Joining me in the broadcast booth is going to be Aaron. How are you doing tonight?
I'm good, Niklas. I'm really looking forward to tonight off the back of the action last Wednesday at Zolder. It was really interesting to see how that no different, I believe, Niklas.
I'm honestly super excited to be here leading the commentary with you tonight. Obviously, brought to you by Simsport Racing, and in the background here, Steve proudly supporting us with the camera works. Now, looking onto the track, we see that we have some very nice conditions here tonight as well. Almost stunning, you could say. Drivers will be putting out the absolute most of their abilities, and we're also quite close to the race in itself as well, just at the end of free practice. And you might be shocked to hear that once again, just like last week, there's not going to be any qualifying.
Yeah, no, it's top 15 reverse grid, something that's very unique and iconic to the Simsport GT4 Championship. That's one quali, and that is round one, and that is it. So, you know, placing in every race is everything. If you're not challenging for the podium positions, you might as well challenge to get that. You might as well target that 15th place so you can get on pole for that next race.
That's the sort of tactical thinking that will probably go down to the wire. We have 45 minutes of race action here tonight. No pit stops planned, so chances are we're going to see some decisions made in that regard. In case you do make a little bit more than a lovely tap off the wall, it's going to be super tough for these chaps to put out what they can, because obviously Bathurst is an absolutely notorious track when it comes to staying on the track and keeping it out of the wall, most importantly.
Yeah, well, we talked about Zolder last week, Niklas, and how it's very close proximity, very narrow, and the corners is designed that, you know, the cars are brought together. And I would say that Bathurst is no different, really. Although you don't want to be side by side, you want to be, you know, in that single file train for most of it. And really, the overtaking opportunities, you know, are done on the straights and in the heavy braking zone. So yeah, really no different to Zolder.
Yeah, it's quite a different position overall, and when you're looking globally where the track is, but they do share a lot of similarities. Obviously, we have a little bit of straight line speed involved in there as well. We have the mountain straight, the Conrad straight, where some of the higher powered engines are going to be showing what they can do out there. Let's talk a little bit about the positions where the drivers will be heading into there tonight. Take a look at the scoreboard and what happened in round number one. Let's bring that on up.
Well, as we have no graphic to show you on the stream, but it is very important to know, if you did miss last week, it's very important to catch up with what actually happened with the results. So Aaron Walker won that, setting the fastest lap, also getting pole position. So he'll be starting on 15th. It was Luke Whitehead in the Audi. Now, we didn't see the Audi in season 5, and now we've seen a bunch of the Audi GT4s come back into Simsport GT4 Championships. So it was Luke Whitehead in second place. 𝗬𝗓𝗏𝗏 in the Chevy Camaro. Adam Isalovich with a cracking result in another Audi in 4th place. David Russell, one of Simsport's favourite commentators, in the Aston Martin, finished in P5. Dave Hedges, who's unfortunately not with us today, and also teammate Aaron Walker in 6th place. Riga Mitchell finished 7th. Marcus Hagel 8th. Richard Pixley finished 9th, and Simon Wilkes rounded out the top 10, Niklas.
Very interesting to see. Obviously, Walker now with that KTM, not gonna get a lot of clean air this time tonight. I've already heard that it's a beauty when it's on its own and can fight around, but considering it's gonna be a lot of bad air today, chances are he'll have to fight a lot harder if he wants to finish where he did last time around. So we're now forwarding onto the grid. 5 minutes for everybody to get ready, load their setups on in. I'm quite happy to be part of this, as I already mentioned. Now, when I'm looking down the grid, we have a couple of gaps. Some drivers are missing, but if you want to fill those on in, join us here. Make sure that you're checking it out at gridfinder.com and get your hands on some racing here in the series and overall just in general as well. Do make sure to check it out.
Yeah, exactly. You know, it's never too late to join the Simsport Championship, and I have to say, on top of that, there are other championships that Simsport do put on across multiple platforms. We're talking iRacing, maybe a bit of Race Room, but ultimately the homegrown is ACC. We got some GT3 as well for you guys.
Yeah, having a look at the grid positions here, up at the front, 𝗲𝗏𝗏 is going to be sitting in pole position, so to say, leading this 45-minute race. Then Mark Reddenberry, 𝗬𝗓𝗏𝗧, 𝗪𝗏𝗏𝗧, those are going to be the top four here. 𝗧𝗔𝗟𝗘𝗡𝗏 starting on the third row, and Simon Wilkes there in that Audi number 12. Richard Pixley, then Marcus Hagel in 8th position. Then Regan Mitchell, Dave Hedges, actually missing out. I think then that's going to mean that David Ressel is going to be taking that on over and inheriting the 10th position. So that means Adam Ijsewicz and Kieran Vidago are going to be P12 and 13 here tonight. Luke Whitehead we are seeing now in that Audi number 2 tonight, and as we mentioned, Aaron Walker, definitely got to be paying a lot of attention to him tonight. He also set a very quick lap in the free practice session here. And then wrapping things up, 9 Bentley. I'm not sure if I'm reading that right. I think it's going to be Nathaniel Ivanusa finishing off the grid. Harry Mears, that is.
So BMW, which I'm pretty sure was what you meant there. BMW GT4, one of my favorite GT4 cars, and there's only one on the track, so I'm kind of secretly you know, hoping that he does well, fingers crossed. He is starting from the back. He was having a really good race at Zolder, and he got a drive-through on the last lap. He would have been pole position for this race. So, yeah, he's got a lot of work to do, especially here at Bathurst.
Yeah, it's exactly that little area where it order. So it's quite rough for him tonight. I think the Bentley is, however, going to do well, especially if he can follow along with Walker, who seems to have a lot of fingers crossed for him there if we are having a look at the Bentley later during the evening.
Yeah, it's going to be super interesting. And we're just waiting here. The session will start in 2 minutes. It'll be a full, I think it's a full lap warm-up, and then we'll get underway. Loving those Camaros out front. I have to say, Reese Wiggin in the number 667 Camaro, no stranger to the front. I kind of remember, I think, him starting out with Michael O'Brien behind him in the previous GT4 Championship, Season 5. So he'll be looking to just build his confidence off pole position.
Yeah, having a look at the front of the grid, 2 Camaros there. I think if he wants to continue up at the front, he'll have to get a great run out of the first couple of turns and use the momentum to stay ahead up the hill for the first time, because I would imagine no matter the sort of setup changes you're putting the Camaro through, it's going to be very tough to keep it stable through the very aerodynamically demanding second sector up here.
Yeah, I have to say, talking to some people that have been spending a lot of time in the practice sessions, is the down the dipper, as you go through McPhillamy Park over Skyline, a lot of cars are losing it there. So really, it's going to be interesting to see whether these drivers have tuned their cars specifically for that corner in mind, and maybe compromise a little bit everywhere just so they can make it around the lap, which is kind of what Bathurst is all about. It's about attrition. It's last driver standing, more than, you know, wheel-to-wheel racing. So maybe they've taken that into consideration when they build their cars, Niklas.
Yeah, snagging a little bit of a phrase from F1 here, drive to survive, you could say. I would consider McPhillamy Park to be the run killer for me, because I was driving the Audi here in the 12-hour race, I think that was. Was it 24 of a different league? So that was basically the top of the hill where all dreams came to shatters, down Skyline especially. Super difficult to get that right. Obviously in 45 minutes, the chances of a mistake are a little bit lower, and regardless of that, they'll still have to drive their absolute best if they want to keep it out of the wall here. So I'm quite happy to see now with cloudy skies up on ahead and an ambient temperature of 19 degrees. I would say that's basically ideal for these guys. Tires should come up to temp fairly soon, just 1 or 2 laps in at most, and then it's going to be an all-out battle here up at the front, I would imagine. Yeah,
it's also important to know, just real Dave Hedges with old man syndrome, not here. And then we've also not got 𝗬𝗓𝗏𝗏 on daddy duties as well. He's not going to be here as well. So that means there's 16 in total on the track. So really, second last will be starting first in the next round. So literally everything is to play for. Like, results are super important here with only 60 drivers here at the track.
Yeah, it's quite easy, I would say, to bring home some points, and most importantly, a good starting position for the next time that for league. We're right now chasing Aaron Walker here in that Simsport Racing number 99 KTM, and I already spotted a couple of very beautiful liveries. Third favorite, is it going to be the BMW again? A little crush on that.
I like the BMW insert of the car. I think the livery that 𝗬𝗓𝗏𝗏𝗏 got reminds me of something out of like Need for Speed Underground. So, you know, maybe nostalgia. Yeah, it looks good. But I have to say that the Simsport, I think it's a Simsport Chevy, looks really nice, and also like that kind of like smarty yellow coloured Aston Martin that David Russell's got going on there. Yeah, no, it's like essentially it's a high vis jacket. So if people don't see him coming, then that's their own fault, really.
Yeah, he's making the most of it. Obviously, we get a little bit of a yellow train there, trying to match colors potentially. That probably was one of the main intentions for the finishing order in the Zolder race, to showcase the beauty a little bit here up in the front.
Yeah, just something really important to note before this race gets away as well is, you know, all eyes are on Aaron Walker, obviously starting in 14th position, and Luke Whitehead that put, you know, Aaron Walker in the first corner, but then made one mistake, and that was all she wrote. The other person to take note in this race is 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 in the 𝗖𝗔𝗟𝗘𝗡𝗏. Looking at the practice times, he was only a tenth of Aaron Walker's time in the legs down the straight than the KTM. He is going to be a danger to everybody else on this track.
That is absolutely fantastic. I mean, the Maserati in itself, the absolute most of the challenges as the Cup Porsches, considering that we have no electronics helping us out there, no TC, no ABS. I'm quite bad for the 45 minutes then that's awaiting us.
Yeah, well, he's no stranger to this car. I don't think it's a fan favorite, maybe amongst sim elites, but I think it's a very hipster move. But he's known. He's definitely developed over the 3 championships that he's ran that Maserati. So he's just building all the time with it.
𝗦𝗏𝗧𝗏𝗏𝗏, I mean, he's probably found it in the first season. Maybe just getting used to it, finding the love, and then working on that relationship. You could say what works and what doesn't. He finds himself in P9 today in the middle of the grid here as we are starting to go double file here for the start of the race. We finished the corner as we are getting ready for the green lights that are awaiting us. This time leading us for turn 1 is Rhys Wiggin in that Midlands Chevy up at the front. So I'm hoping for an exciting race, and we'll be right on there with the action. Hoping to keep you guys entertained. And well then, it is green lights and away we go. Very nice start. Then Mitchell to the inside as we're briefly 3 wide. Looks like Randonbury thinks the better of it. Has to concede a little bit of track position as Aaron Walker is trying very hard to make up a couple of spots here on the opening lap. Looks like he'll have to stay in the slipstream for now. So far, no accidents. Keeping it clean, everyone. Love to see that. We're now heading down into Quarry Bend for the first time. Wiggin leading with a good gap so far already to the inside. Randonbury is going to defend quite nicely, is forced to give up the inside position now as they're going up the hill a little bit. I think Utley getting a little bit of contact there in the background, concedes the position for now as we are riding up the hill for the first time. Rhys Wiggin with a bit of a gap already.
Yeah, 1.5 seconds. What a start for Rhys Wiggin. I mean, this is, if he ever dreamed of a start, this would, yeah, the clean air is tremendous for him. He can really just put that lap time down now, get those tyres up to 10. He's in hard on the back of Mark Randonbury. Mark 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏's down in 6th place, just behind Simon Wilkes in the number 12 Audi. And this is to go down the dipper for the first time over Skyline, praying clean here. And I just love how we saw Kieran Vidago squeezing Aaron Walker out on the outside of Hell's Corner there for the first time. And I don't think that'll be the last time that we'll be squeezing that KTM out.
You do have to squeeze the KTM here, squeeze that cat, you could say. He's really putting up a fight at the beginning here as well. Sweaty hands are probably what we're going to be seeing here. Regan Mitchell getting a fantastic start here as well. Already gained 1 position here and now a second one as well as he finds himself in the 7th position. I think Pixley, however, in that number 11 Aston Martin had a rough one, finds himself at the back of the pack for now. Must have been some sort of contact. Now into the heavy braking zone, Mitchell is going to go a little bit defensive here, finds the braking spot and holds on to P7 for...
Yeah, this is a great job here as Gavin Utley's looking towards the outside of Mark Raddenberry. Going to go late on the brakes and try and go all the way around the outside. He's going to be out of position in the last corner, and he's certainly going to be out, just slots in behind here. And look at, there's Regan Mitchell in second place. They fan out on pit straight. This is quality. We've got Luke Whitehead going up the inside there, and he's going to make it work in the Audi, known for its terrible brakes. Oh, and he just gets swiped that clothesline by the McLaren and Mark Hagel. Yeah. Mark Hagel didn't see that.
And 𝗏𝗘𝗧𝗏 there, I think the 666 Aston getting a little bit collected there with the ambitious move from the Audi, as we're seeing some more racing action up at the front here, where Utley is actually passed a little bit here. Seems that he can make it work for now on the defense side here. 𝗏𝗧𝗏𝗏's not quite getting past. But yeah, very rough start there for the... And Aaron Walker finds himself in the middle of it. P10, couple of positions gained. And now up the hill, as you see how close all of this actually is, how tight that is. And side by side there in the background, we see a couple of drivers really duking it out. I think that's the Aston Martin compressor there on the inside of Whitehead. Is like to continue, because there's absolutely no room being left. Look at this beautiful driving by with the both of them.
This is fantastic racing. It looks like Whitehead gives out. Oh, we just see our car clatter into the wall. I think either Harry Mears or Mark Hagel straight into the wall. I think it was orange as well.
Yeah.
That was
Hagel in the 117, big contact there, and actually losing the car in the process of it. So that about pre-race.
Yeah, we just getting information here in our ears that Rich Pixley has been given a drive-through. He started in 6th position on the grid. We did see him in the pits, you know, Man Panorama claiming another victim, but Rich Pixley now back on the track, but gonna serve a drive-through.
Part of the race as we're following Simon Wilkes now having a go at it after Utley couldn't get past there. Now I'm a little bit confused where Raddenberry has gone. No, that actually is the move and ran the 𝗏𝗏𝗏 Racing Audi. Hot damn, there must have been a lot of time lost on the straight there. I actually didn't expect that at all. So Simon Wilkes now leading the pack here and lap number 2 coming across the line. Your order is going to be Simon Wilkes in front of Mark Raddenberry, then Gavin Utley, Ollie Gier, Mark Newton, Regan Mitchell, 𝗬𝗓𝗏𝗏𝗏. I'm butchering that name, I'm so sorry. Reese Wigan as well as Kieran Walker, who we're following right now.
Luke Whitehead is trying to squeeze his way through Kieran Vidago, and he does so. Oh, he tries to go. There wasn't enough room there as he goes side by side. These two guys battling out for the championship lead so far in this round 2, and it will be Aaron Walker that will maintain that lead going up through the mountain. Calm down a bit here as he goes single file over the mountain.
Yeah, he was really hoping to get the move done there in time. Hit the inside line, but not quite enough grip because he had to give room. We're following Regan Mitchell right now, and up the hill and around here. O'Giel is right ahead of him as they're heading into the 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 Park. And then second down Skyline here as well. Round shift and don't push the car too much. There's still 39 minutes here in this beautiful race. If you want to get more details on what's happening on track, that make sure you also check out the pitwall.live. That's available in the description below.
Yeah, Pitwall Live is full of all the information you'll ever need for a Simsport Championship. Have to say, it's real bad news for Reese Wigan, who had a cracking start to this race. He's all the way down.
Yeah, barrier twice there. Trading paint a little bit with the outside there. That's going to majorly cost him the top speed, I think. It's really not where he wanted to be down the hill there and into the forest elbow. For a quick second, he wants to pull a move. Wigan here, Luke Whitehead. See if he spots the breaking point very quick there. Up and into the chase. I got my details mixed up there for a second. So yeah, Luke Whitehead now looking to get it to the inside. Perfect braking and overtaking opportunity right on there.
Yeah, he's wasting no time. But look at all these battle scars on every car here. We said it before though, well I said it, I'm going to claim that fame. It was Regan Mitchell who was putting out outstanding performance. Someone's off there. Was that Kieran Vidago? Kieran Vidago just going straight on at Hell Corner. It looked like the brakes locked up on that Chevy Camaro, and hopefully he gets it back on track, because literally every place is worth fighting for with this reverse grid.
Yeah, it's something that's really putting a lot of pressure on the drivers here to get something done. The opponent here, that's going to be 𝗬𝗓𝗏𝗧 out wide and dropping the position. He finds himself on the podium. Very, very strong stuff here after starting from P9 on the grid.
How amazing would it be to see a Maserati take the win at Panorama? Oh, these Simmerlees would be frothing at the mouth. It'd be so good. It'd be so good, and he would definitely deserve it if he can take this win tonight.
I mean, the setup must be the stability, the aggression that he can put up into the car, and most importantly, the confidence of 3 seasons speaking out of the driving that we're seeing by him tonight.
Yeah, I have to say to all the drivers, a warning shot really. Every time they clatter a wall, that they're taking seconds of damage, if not more, and it's just hampering their lap time. So really, it's not about putting in that pure pace. It's just about avoiding contact, keeping it clean, and you will find yourself with a good result if you maintain that.
And honestly, that's what I read. That might have been partially just the avoidance of a collision there when we saw him diving way out of the way at Hell's Corner, turn 1, that is, in the background. So we're getting a replay right on here. That's what happened to Race Wigan, who we're following here. With a nice, quite unstable, the car there, and braking very late and heavy up into he completely overshoots the turn and onto the grass. There's no grip there whatsoever, and you have to rejoin the track. And how close is that as he rejoins in P5?
That's a 𝗬𝗓𝗏𝗧 moment if I ever saw one. I mean, yeah, you hit the nail on the head there, Niklas. Watching that car just bobble as it goes through the chase there looked completely unsettled, and it almost looked like he tried to turn the wheel. Car just kept going straight. It was straight on the grass.
It was just bouncing so much. Looked like the front bump stops completely being abused there. No grip coming through to the tires. What put steering in there at the same time? There's just no chance. The car's making the turn. 𝗬𝗓𝗏𝗧 is making it happen. That's the 2nd position already. We missed the overtake just a little bit as he got past Rattenberry there up the mountain straight into quarry. He's already ahead in 2nd place.
Yeah, another person who's making his way up through the ranks, 𝗬𝗓𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 in the 111 Audi. He's really found his feet, looks super comfy in that car. He does have Aaron Walker though, piling the pressure on. Don't think Aaron's going to be making a move around the mountain like that. It looks towards the inside, nope, just filters in behind. I think Adam here has got the legs on the straight to keep that KTM at bay. Oh, Aaron sliding into the wall there.
And despite not being quite as wide as the GT3 variant, that Audi's rear is very difficult to look through. When you're going up the hill, you're basically driving almost blindly there in the KTM. So it's very challenging to keep it out of the wall there at all. So just a little bit of contact there, just letting the wall know that you're there. Got to make sure to assert a little bit of dominance around the hill.
Collision there, David Russell coming through Forest Elbow. That did not work out. Mark Hagel coming out in the 117 McLaren there. He's been in all sorts of accidents already with 33 minutes left on the clock. So, maybe he's just going to battle for that pole position in the next round.
Yeah, I mean, if he can really going to try and get a couple more points out of there. Aaron Walker now moving up into the 7th position here. Yeah, with a very opportunistic move to something there, especially Forest Elbow is just the area where you probably outbrake yourself and not really your opponent.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking about the Expo, right? You think if you don't have that attitude, you're just not going to be successful in that car because it has no straight line speed. What it excels in is its braking distance and its mechanical grip at low speed. So taking that car to a treat, but Bathurst does not pay its respects to the crossbow.
Absolutely not. You'll have to actually defend that a little bit. He got the move done on Whitehead, moving up. Now up into 6th position there, actually. Very, very strong stuff. He's definitely using the car's strong suits, and he's showcasing what he can do despite being at somewhat of a disadvantage in the straight line. As long as he can nail the exit so much better than the rest of the drivers, regardless of that, he doesn't only need the brakes to get something done. He's got bring the whole package together here.
Yeah, something happened there. It looked like strategic play from 𝗬𝗓𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏. I think, I think Aaron Walker made his way past before he let Luke Whitehead, who's getting all sorts of over onto the grass, 2 wheels on the grass. He doesn't want that dirt on the tire, especially as you go through the dipper. You need all that braking performance you can get. Like I was saying, I think it was a very strategic play from Adam. These two guys are battling for the championship lead coming through into round 2. He doesn't want any part of it. He knows it's a battle of attrition. Oh, look at that, another guy smashing the outside wall there. They're just so quiet here. They're just running into it.
Oh man, these guys are just absolutely pushing. There's no room to be left still on the tracks. We're quickly going onward there. Aaron Walker in 6th gear already, 260 kilometers. So we're now looking into the, one of the last braking zones off the track. He is going to quickly try and send it to the outside once again. Troubles on the braking, almost 3 wide there for a second as 𝗦𝗘𝗘𝗏 used the opportunity, jumps the position, and now Walker finds himself in P5, but far away from having the spot secured because 𝗦𝗘𝗘𝗏 is looking.
We need a replay of that. Production, we need a replay of that cut back there. That was unbelievable. 3 wide there, going through the chase. It made it work. What a great move from 𝗦𝗘𝗏𝗏𝗏, which is still aboard with Aaron Walker.
It's just one corner there. Aaron, that's all that he needs. Big contact there with 𝗔𝗠𝗓𝗏𝗏 making contact there. They're both sending each other to the outside. That's going to be game over there for the Aston.
For Luke 𝗦𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏, who really should have waited there. That I don't think that was on the Aston Martin at all. It'll be a marshal's decision for sure. And I kind of feel like Luke Ali wants to keep chasing. He's lost a couple of positions, and I kind of feel sorry for the 2 guys between him and Aaron Walker. That he just get out of the way of that Audi.
Oh, Walker getting all sideways there. Doesn't have a car to follow this time around, as now able to find all of the pace there. It's in this reverse grid scenario, and there's still time on the clock. You better be prepared to either defend for your life or just do the smart thing really and get out of the way of the powerhouse that the 99 Simsport Racing is presenting. Let's take a look at the replay here. That's such a beautiful move, and we're following along here as we're in this 4-way fight that basically most cinematic moments you're going to find at Bathurst anywhere. Let's have a look.
Look at that. It was great there. Great awareness there. You can just see him getting super aggressive. He needs to calm it down a little bit. He's trying to keep on the back of that KTM because he knows that as soon as that Aaron Walker gets space, he'll utilize it. He did it at Zolder. That's it. And I think that he, that's in the back of his mind. It's playing, a mental game with him. And you could just see here that I don't think the Aston Martin's done anything wrong there. Just the Audi. I feel like the Audi should have waited.
Yeah, he was trying to get the regular full throttle acceleration that you're usually looking for. As we see large clouds of dust there. Someone must have been mowing the lawn in the outside run of the chase there. I'm not going to try with the names tonight. I'm not really up to the names. Sorry about that. We're seeing a car head to the pit lane right on there, as well as 𝗬𝗓𝗓𝗏𝗏𝗏 now heading in there. Quite rough, but what I really liked and something that we potentially missed was the beautiful save there. I think that was from the 667.
It was indeed. It's so difficult coming out of the chase, especially when you hit that grass, because you want to rotate right, because the corner naturally leans right. I was on board here with Martin-Pilkington defending in the Aston Martin, because everyone has to be forced round the outside. Rhys Wiggin is going to have to do that all over again as that gap extends out. What a great job for defending from Martin-Pilkington.
Yeah, we saw 𝗪𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 there get the move done as well, up into now 11th position and past the Aston Martin. I think that's a retirement potentially. Don't think he could get to the pit lane in time there, as we're following Aaron Walker, who's already gotten the job done and finds himself in position number 3. Bradbury stood no chance, basically 1 lap, and that's all the time that it took for him to get up to the back of him and just get the move done.
Yeah, it's a fantastic move there. But meanwhile, up ahead, really, this is the battle that we want to see unfold. We don't want to see any more carnage. We want to see these 2 guys go side by side. It's Regan Mitchell in the 69 Maserati and Simon 10th a lap faster from Regan Mitchell. So inevitably, with 27 minutes on the clock, these 2 guys will be butting heads.
Yeah, I'm interested to see. Efficacy, it's a different resource as well with the tires. If you do get any sort of flat spots on there, it's something as well. But considering how he's 0.3 a lap quicker, that's going to put more and more pressure on Wilkes as they're crossing the line. His chances are he'll look at the bottom left, realize that Regan Mitchell just on the last run through here actually had the fastest so far, as he's actually beaten by Aaron Walker, who then sets the fastest first sector time. Now, considering that there's a little bit of a pace difference in between all of those, it'll come down to have a quick focus here on 𝗪𝗏𝗕𝗏𝗧 once again, finding himself next to Wigan here in a quite close fight for position number 7.
It's like Rhys Wiggin, actually, who made the mistake trying to go around the outside of 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 last lap, has already got past 𝗪𝗏𝗕𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 in the 666 Aston Martin, and it looks just a little bit. Number 5 Aston Martin, one of our resident commentators here at Simsport, has got past the 169 BMW of 𝗬𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏, who was looking in bonnet razors on that BMW now, with the amount of damage that he's got.
Yeah, it's the special kind of design, trying to reduce a little bit of the body kit, the weight there, and you see how much how that pays its dividends as the rear axle gets completely loose there. He'll probably give up the position here. He just lets 𝗬𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 go, and probably the sensible move here.
Yeah, well, essentially, Nicholas, it's net gains, right? Because, you know, he loses a place this week, but he gains a place next week. So, as we've already lost 2 people out of the server, there's 14 people, so we're going to be looking. It's going to be interesting who gets pole position.
Exactly. Chances are we're going to have the grid move up then for those who finished, I guess. So Pixley would be pole position, and then it's just the top 14 in order then. Something that I would assume.
No, you don't get any special brownie points for leaving a race. You need to be finishing. You need a finished result. And if you leave the race, you don't. It's not like 50, but the fit nothing. They start at the back in the next round.
Yeah, naturally. So, and once again, proving how the consistency that he has up here with the Maserati. Further down the pack, yeah, Mitchell originally in 9th place, in 2nd, and proves his worth there as we're following up through the main grid here in the investigator team, number 69. It's quite a sight to see now coming up the hill for what is essentially the 10th. How the Audi is getting closer and closer.
Yeah, Stephen Proudly, our productions manager, managing to swing his way with kudos to get that invisible Maserati plastic though.
See, it's quite advanced, you have to say. You have to give him that.
Yeah, I mean, this battle's not going anywhere, is it? We've got, you know, in these last 20 minutes of the race, we've still got 23 minutes to go, and that battle, that distance is closing ever so more. It's so fantastic to watch, and I would love to see, you know, the pedal inputs of Regan Mitchell, how he's maintaining that car, obviously with no traction control and no ABS. The feathering that must be going on would be absolutely insane.
Yeah, both on the brakes and the gas, really. And I imagine he just put a large wooden log behind going above 70%, because chances are you'll be going into lockup city very quickly.
Yes, as we get our weekly reminder, this is the thank you, Mr. Proudly. Yes, I can see everything. See, if you use this view, you won't be having so many crashes, because you can see everything that's going on. I can see
lots of places. Is yours moving as well when you're going through the corners? I would find that quite difficult to drive.
Yeah, that's 𝗪𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏, which I definitely do not have.
That's why I'm looking at the lap time. Now I see. With
I miss all my Apex
field of view, I would imagine.
Fantastic one though, just to show how good Regan Mitchell is on those brakes. And he is catching that Audi in leaps and bounds. And if you're Aaron Walker in 3rd position, you want to see this. He can see this. You know, he's going through Harold Corner. He can see the 2 guys in front help him massively, because he has all the clear space to put the lap times down, and he'll be able to battle with these 2 very, very shortly.
Yeah, you won't take long. 13.2 for Walker, which is about 5/10 than the cars ahead. And obviously, Regan Mitchell doesn't have the massive pace advantage that he would need to get a move done in the hill, I'd imagine. So those 2 are going to be fighting quite soon, I'd imagine. You
know, I agree. To me now is, as this battle is about to unfold, is where does Regan Mitchell choose his place? I mean, Simon Wilkes he was amateur. He was in the amateur category last season, which I think is rules are rules. He is now in the pro category. He's a I would say he's a seasoned pro, especially in the Simsport community. Right. Where do you make that move on him in the Maserati, knowing that you can't go past 30% brake pressure, knowing that you can't smash the throttle down?
I'm thinking straight here, really. Considering how the exit of the Audi is decent through here, I'd say that he doesn't quite have the straight line speed, and I'm actually gonna have a quick look and start to do a little speed trap here. Last time I checked, it was about 4 kilometers or so, which is quite significant considering that's just not starting at the end of the straight where they have that speed difference, but all the way through. So he'll continue to close the gap. I would imagine it's going to take him right around 1 lap until we see him go for a move into the chase here.
I believe you completely, because I really don't know where, if, you know, it's going to happen, but where does it happen? That's the big question. And just to give you an update, by 𝗦𝗫𝗬𝗪𝗡, who finds himself in that 6th place in the 111 Audi. So it's looking like another solid, good result here if he can keep this with 20 minutes to go.
Yeah, definitely. Let's have a quick look. All those drivers started. So leading the pack here originally in 6th place is Simon Works at the number 12 Audi. Following him, originally starting 9th, is 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏, now chasing quite the lead of the race as we're quickly switching over to the fight there where 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 has been closing the gap and now sending 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 to the outside there. That's the move done, and that's from the back there. Number 4 making a move at the same time. Doesn't work out for the two of them.
Yeah, I'm like praying to Kiwi, like, don't stop, because even 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 was coming in that BMW, but he did wait.
You stopped at the apex.
Yeah, I mean, it's a one-way ticket to getting shunted. There's nothing else that could happen there, but that was great respect there from Kieran, and he'll be looking to kind of, you know, continue that battle with Martin-Pilkington for 9th place.
We did see it somewhat similar in steps ago. I think that time it was 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 sending another car around spinning. But he this time got the move done cleanly, so props to him. It's just through on a move like this, it's just very difficult because the inside line is just so compromising. You're going to be very slow at the apex, and the Constantina effect spinning you to almost get hit every time you're trying to go for the follow-up.
I don't know if you saw that, Niklas, but did you see a very faint flashing from Aaron Walker in the KTM? I'm thinking some miles back. I love it. Having said that, though, when he got that 3rd place secured from Luke Whitehead, he was 6 seconds from him to these two. It's now less. It's now less than 3 seconds. We're looking at 2.5 seconds on that timing tower, and he's lapping a 1.5 seconds faster than.
Yeah. 2:12.5 for him the last time around, actually setting the fastest lap of the race in the process there as well, which is then Mitchell. And once again, following up on that, another 2:12.999. He really wants to show us the kind of pace he's got. He's just so much right now. Despite the slipstream that Mitchell has, I think he's still going to follow through.
Yeah, and this essentially is like a ticking time nose. Once that KTM gets into the striking zone, he's going to have to start defending as well as attacking. So he really needs to try and get past that Audi as quick as possible, as clean, so that he can use that Audi as a buffer and gain that as leverage to take the win.
That would be the perfect strategy for him. Obviously, Wilkes is going to be aware of the same thing, and when 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 arrives, potentially trying to use the same strategy, but just like the Uno reverse card in reality, where Wilkes is hoping to continue to the lead for now. Aaron Walker down the hill here, and you've seen him not move the car much at all. We sometimes see them go squiggling, go sideways a little bit. That insecurity from the dampening section, from the suspension at all, as he basically has closed the distance and is now almost in slipstream range.
Yeah, this is a fantastic job from Aaron Walker, and he was saying earlier on, just before the race, in Discord, that he's absolutely set. The car feels great, and he's kind of built it around a dipper. He was saying that, you know, when he was comparing lap times and other sectors with other people, especially Luke Whitehead, that he was gaining a second down the dipper because the car felt so good, where other people were, like you were saying, panicking as they shuffle the wheel. You know, it looks very smooth from Aaron Walker's, and that's where he's gaining most of his time, is down the hill. Yeah,
it's a sector where you can't really honesty, but if you're in that space where you can just fight for lap time, we see him just close the gap down to less than a second now. It's exact time.
Absolutely, and there's no one around. I mean, now he's in this three-way dogfight for the lead. Essentially, this is. I'm absolutely, unless disaster unfolds, it's just going to be who's going to end up where. Simon Wilkes has got the, I would say, the easiest job of the lot as they go up the mountain again with 15 minutes on the line. That's all his job he's got to do. I would say that 𝗏𝗏𝗔𝗏𝗏𝗏's got the most difficult job because he's in this sandwich where the person behind him is faster than him and he's faster than the person in front. So he's really got to make a decision.
Yeah, it's the West and the East run at the same time. He's got to make something out of it, as we see the Audi slightly sideways now. 45 minutes is the entire race duration. We are 30 minutes in. I don't think the tires are going to give up on him yet, but maybe he's struggling a little bit because of the anxiety starting to set in, considering how he's being chased for the better half of 20 minutes now.
Yeah, exactly. And Aaron Walker, just like a dog with a bone, reeling him in. This is, I mean, it's a very frightening prospect if you see that KTM coming at you at large down the mountain.
With the defensive line, that's not going to give him a great run out of here, so that's definitely helping 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 here. Go for the exactly right racing line, carry a lot of speed down here. You obviously don't have too much engine power in these GT4s, sorry about that. And now I think he's basically getting up to the KTM speeds, where he's going to rev out the engine up to the very top, chasing up into here and showing how easily he can slow it down right on that. Absolutely wheeze 1 inch.
Yeah, I wonder if we can get a replay actually from that Forest elbow, because it looked to me from the angle, it's very difficult to tell that I think side of Forest elbow and it shot him wide. He did an amazing job. I think it was difficult to tell from the angle, but I think he did an amazing job to keep it out of the outside wall, and that's the career. And first, but more importantly, how much damage has it given that Maserati, and will it affect him as he goes through the mountain for the first time after that accident?
Right. Yeah, it's very difficult to see that from the angle. It's super tight, but I do see a little bit of scraping there up at the front. Shouldn't be too much in terms of the straight line speed, but maybe I would imagine that maybe the camera fell out of the front bit there. That might have given him the weight advantage.
No, absolutely. Just to give you an update, though, that 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏, who is second in the championship, finds himself in the pits. He's still in 6th position at the moment, and everything is to play for. So I'm wondering if he's succumbed to too much damage. The events that have unfolded throughout the race, and I kind of feel like it's a wise decision to maybe get that damage fixed, get out there, and just set some good lap times. Go for that.
Yeah, I think that could be a good strategy. There's still a couple of points to be found. I would imagine he's joining right around the top 10 mark. So let's see where he finds himself when one of the scenarios where Aaron Walker could get it done. Now to the outside, this time a little bit smoother here, about getting the same exit, but now with the slipstream, let's chase.
Absolutely. Well, we saw it earlier on, didn't we, where he was right on the back of one of the Chevy Camaros, and that Camaro is no slouch. So once he's in the tow, I think he's primed himself up for that dive down the inside, down to the chase. And he's going to make it. He's going to make it towards the inside there. You can see him position his car. No, just tucks back in. No, he goes for it. Mitchell doesn't defend. He doesn't defend. Oh, huge for Mitchell.
Oh, yeah, that's exactly what he was hoping for. Mitchell is forced out wide onto the grass there as he's slightly outbraking himself, trying to keep the pressure that Aaron Walker needed to force him into a mistake. That nets him 2nd place right on here, and in very defensive now, Audi ahead. We have to pull through for the remaining 13 minutes of the race.
So we're going to replay. Thank you so much, Steve, Mr. Proudly. I think this is, if we're going to be able to see it, does he clip the wall? I was sure of it. He does he just tag it? It looks like he gets a little bit of oversteer there, a little bit too much on the throttle. I mean, he's done fantastic so far in this race. It was bound to happen at some point. It just happened, and he just clipped the wall on the front edge. Maybe not enough maybe not a lot of damage like you were saying, Niklas, but he's lost that 2nd place, and he'll just be hoping now that Aaron Walker catches up to Simon Wilkes.
A bit of a nudge there at the exit. Bentley fighting back, because that is not the Bentley there. That's actually the Maserati, so he's being shoved right back by the barriers. Now Aaron Walker is the next one in line to try and get past Wilkes. And we saw him do a great job at defending. He has a nice gap to work with, 1.5 seconds that is. But I'm just curious, considering that Walker is just a second quick down the hill as well. Have a look how that gap is already shrinking.
Yeah, that what gap? there is no gap.
I don't recall either.
Yeah, we just blink and he's there. I mean, like, we said it before, and he said it too, that this is where, down the mountain is where he finds most time, and it's so evident there. He's right on the back bumper.
It's just so light.
Yeah, it
no
looks
balance, and that actually comes to show here around Bathurst. So round number 2, maybe we'll have to think about some mid-season changes in terms of the BOP, because apparently Aaron Walker is OP.
yeah, maybe driver bops. Instead of the car, just give Aaron Walker like 2, you know, there's like bracelets you can get, you can fill with sand, and you can have like weight bracelets. So he's just like, he's driving around with extra.
Yeah, just give him like a co-driver actually. Can you fit a co-driver into the KTM? I would think so.
I think maybe just a blindfold. You know, the force feedback.
I don't think you would have seen him move to the inside there. I think he would have maybe gotten into contact with Wilkes there as he mounts the inside curve. That's not really where you want to be. And a little bit of a shove there. Body check from the side as Aaron Walker tries to establish a little bit of dominance. He'll have the inside line. Now, it's going to be very tough for here in a second. Audi is ahead again and moves up. Whew, that was close.
Yeah, I mean, Simon Wilkes has got to learn real quick, real fast. It seems that Aaron Walker knows, you know, he knows how to put these guys into like really bad positions. You know, bobbling off the curbs through Hell Corner. It really unsettles the car. The way that he did 𝗧𝗏𝗔𝗏𝗘𝗏 kind of looked like he was going towards the inside, and then he didn't, and then he did, and then he forces 𝗧𝗏𝗏𝗘𝗏 onto the grass without actually touching the car. Simon Wilkes has got to, and he's got the car to do it.
And he'll have to do so very quickly. I mean, he'll have to hold on for 8 minutes, but it's basically learning by doing. You know, being chased by Aaron Walker now down the hill once again. It's just not where you can overtake. Even if you're quicker, you can just try to force your opponent into a mistake, getting very close and nastily popping up in the rear mirrors. I would imagine that he's...
Yeah, and it just really begs the question for me, thinking about that the KTM crossbow comes with a naturally or a stock really high ride height, and I think that may be one of the contributing factors as to why it's so good down the hill, where you may see it as well, Niklas, you know, in GT3 in particular, that sometimes the cars bottom out. It's just as the nature of the elevation down the hill, but it doesn't look phased, that KTM, and I think that might be having something to do with the ride height.
Yeah, we can sometimes get a little peek under the car actually from these different camera angles. See as he actually rides the very poor exit and is now on the inside. He'll have to make the most of it if he wants to stick, and I don't think he can. Braking quite late, he's jumping the curb and he's giving around Aaron Walker there. As there's beautiful avoidance by Mitchell just in time, and 6 minutes he's showing his frustration, putting the nose right into the tires.
I mean, butting his head against the proverbial tire wall. I think 𝗟𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 would have loved that. That was beautiful. But that was, I kind of felt it was coming. You know, like I said before, you've got to be opportunistic with the KTM. He had the outside, but he didn't have the complete like lead going into the corner. Yeah. And you know, Adam Wilkes sent it. But I think Simon Wilkes got a little bit. He got unsettled by the curb. He kind of tried to keep it tight. The curb kind of unsettled him on the inside there, and yeah, contact.
He did jump the curb a little bit. I have to say, it looked like that it was very difficult for both cars to go side by side there. I think that it was just at that moment he realized if Walker passed, there's no way for him to retaliate. So he absolutely went for it. There's nothing else you can say. Yeah. So he continues leading for now. That now Mitchell is next in line, because the 11-second gap that Walker has ahead of him, I don't think that's going to be challengeable in the remaining.
No, I think it's too much to ask of Aaron Walker, especially when we don't know the scale of the damage on that KTM. It can be very twitchy, you know, it's got a very short wheelbase, and any damage, it's kind of like a multiplier. As we just see 𝗧𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 clout the wall. I mean, that wall was loving those love taps throughout this race.
It is that a special kind of wall. It's not the vanilla kind of wall. We got some special preferences here. 𝗧𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 giving it respect though. The number 69 Maserati though tries to get a little bit too early on the acceleration. Once again, Audi out wide, definitely using all of the track, if not more so. Saw it last time around with the collision up into the final corner.
Yes. With 5 minutes to go, though, I thought we'd just give you an update on the timing tower so far. If you've just joined in, it's Simon Wilkes leads this race with a controversial contact with Aaron Walker, who now sits in third. Regan Mitchell in second, looking to take that win. Mark Rannebury in fourth, with, I would assume, is his best result ever in GT4. This would be a cracking result for Mark Rannebury. Adam Isalovic in fifth in the 111 Audi. Reese Withens, Ivanusa in the BMW, the Soul BMW in eighth. Kieran Vidago ninth, and Mark Hagel rounds out the top 10. 𝗤𝗓𝗡𝗚 and 𝗦𝗨𝗕𝗓𝗏 in 11th, 12th, and 13th round. But the biggest news, Nicholas, is that Luke Whitehead, that we saw go into the pits thinking he was going to go for that extra point, that consolidatory point, is out of pit. So that means he will not be part of that reverse grid next round.
Yeah, it's a very unnecessary retirement, I would say, just out of frustration. Obviously, you don't want to be the wheel in front of the driver when that sort of damage happens. Just a little contemporary flash there by 𝗏𝗔𝗏 as the Audi gets loose. Yeah, it's not really the way that you want to end the second round in the season. Yeah, only third, considering that is Bathurst. It's a decent quota, but regardless, I was expecting a little bit more.
Yeah, exactly, and I think we've got two laps left as we look towards the 3 minutes left in this race. This battle's going nowhere. I have to say though, you know, Aaron Walker is catching these guys. He's just showing off with the time remaining, and it's down to these two to duke it out for that race win.
Yeah, I would imagine that 𝗏𝗔𝗏 is hoping to just set himself up for now and go something on the final lap of the race here at Bathurst. Considering that the weak spots, I think he's had plenty of time to analyze the driver ahead and then plan his move accordingly to potentially jump up in front. But you know that Wilkes is going to be defending for his life.
Yeah, I agree with you. But I think that is a strategy that Mitchell has to play. I think maybe into one big attack on the last lap. I think that's a very sensible decision. But also remember that you've just seen Simon Wilkes obliterate a KTM, and under pressure, it's under pressure, right? He's making mistakes, he's extending the track, and maybe that's because of you. Simon Wilkes is definitely, you know, needs to improve on his mental game as he's weaving up and down, trying to get at the slipstream in that Maserati, and I feel like Simon Wilkes is his own worst enemy right now.
Yeah, you'll have to look how close that gets. That's the mistake forced just by the poor Jedi powers there of Wilkes. He's pushing the number 69 out to the far side of the track. That's gonna be that's gonna be game over, I feel like.
Yeah, I feel like that's the final nail in the coffin there for Regan Mitchell, who had, I think, buckets of time to make a move there, and round the outside of a handful of times have I ever seen it work. It doesn't usually work because the camber runs off towards the wall, so you kind of need to hug the inside curb. That's not exactly what he did. Simon Wilkes had the ultimate advantage there, and I kind of feel like it's for Simon Wilkes to lose right now.
You said it before, he's his owner's worst enemy. It's the final time down the hill here. I would imagine that his hands are a little bit shaky at the moment. There's a slow car ahead, apparently. Might be one of the drivers already half a lap down and disconnect. I think that might have been the slow car ahead with the semi-retirement here for the 117. So final time now up into the chase. I don't think he's in striking distance at all. He could break trailing at the Maserati, but I don't think that's the type of driver that Regan Mitchell is or has been showing to us at all this evening. So now I would say that Simon Wilkes, if we have an interview with him of the race overall.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting here as the race is about to finish, Nicholas.
Yeah, Simon Wilkes here in the Sinana Racing number 12 takes home P1 ahead of Mitchell. We said it before, Maserati gang showing what he can do. Not quite with the P1 finish that he maybe was hoping for, as Aaron Walker crosses in third. He had a lot of potential but couldn't quite follow through with it in the end, as Mark Rannebury shows us that the Camaro can do right there, crossing second Audi in the grid. It's 𝗖𝗓𝗏𝗏 and then Reese Wiggin in the 6.67. And 7th position, David Resser had some contact earlier, but managed to really make the most out of the race here, gaining a couple of positions in a bit of a jump there, a celebratory jump to wrap up the lap here, finishing in position number 7 now. Kieran Vidago in the Simsport number 4, beautiful livery. That Simsport Racing action there, as he brings home 8th place. That's going to be just almost where he's going to be starting next time around, imagine, and with a with a new type of BMW, you would say. Considering the looks of it, I think Nathaniel will be very happy that he can carry it across the line at all.
I mean, that car looks broke. He means assembled, and I mean, he's redefining Bathurst as we know it. But I mean, a big applaud though. All jokes in the race, because that means he gets points, but he also sets himself up for round 3.
Yeah, it's great to see that he was able to carry it across. I don't think I could really do that with the amount of damage that was obviously already applied to the car. And once again, mounting more the sort of strategy that has gotten some of these cars killed. Just a bit too much curvature as 𝗬𝗔𝗟𝗘𝗡𝗏 in the Dunn Motorsports number 18 is going to finish. And P10, don't know if they're braking too early and then just overshooting or undershooting the turn. Either way, I've had a lot of fun, and what a race.
That was a great race. You know, obviously there was a lot of contact there as well, so I think there's going to be a lot for people to look at you know, post-race and maybe a few conversations. But ultimately, what a fantastic result for Simon Wilkes out in front. 𝗬𝗓𝗏𝗔𝗦𝗡𝗏 also as well. It was a shame that Aaron Walker couldn't capitalize on that, because he really looked strong for the win. But a 3rd place means that he'll be starting in 12th place, or 13th, sorry, in the next race. But it also means that a big bunch of points for him. That's great.
Yeah, it's not just the points, which obviously he'll be very happy about. It's also the major gap that he's been able to form to the rival Audi that he was looking for, considering the circumstances on the second to last lap. Joining us here in a second will be the drivers for the interviews of the evening. Do we do these in reverse order, I reckon?
However you like, Niklas. You take these away.
Following the highlights here with the first driver, we'll be talking about fastest lap of the race from Aaron Walker, with lots of potential despite the hiccups that we saw earlier during the race. How are you feeling with your finish tonight?
Just to let you know, you might have to drop down to Discord there.
Yeah,
I do apologize.
That's me being being
no,
new to the team
absolutely
sport.
Fine, dude. I did exactly the same.
Yeah. Let me try that one. Tour right on there. Maserati gang, I've seen a dream.
I'm feeling pretty good. I would have liked to win a bit better, Maserati gang, but I'll take it.
Yeah, I think considering all the different scenarios you found yourself in, attacking and defending at the same time, and obviously not locking up the brakes, it's a miracle to me how you're doing that.
It's really difficult. Although I did actually have the brake power quite far down for the struggled, and I couldn't actually outbrake people sometimes through the chase and other corners. But a lot of compromises I had to make to get this car to work. I'm just switching brake bias halfway around, like 2 times a lap up and down.
Well, that sounds rough. So we've heard the info from the back here that it's actually your 3rd season in the Maserati. Now you have a lot of experience. What's the best and what's the...
Well, it's actually my 4th season now in the Maserati.
Is it?
Yeah. So the worst thing is, well, fairly obvious. It's so hard, and even here, this was going to be my most difficult race like ever. I knew that coming in. But for the best thing, there's things this Maserati can do that no other car can do in GT4.
Right.
Due to its like no ABS and no traction control, and just how it handles some things that you can do in this car that no other car can do. And I try to use those.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for the insight. 2nd place finish here tonight. Let's see how it'll fare around when we're getting to the next round in Suzuka. Thank you so much for your time. So, finishing the race, obviously in P1, it's going to be the next interview up. Simon Wilkes in the broadcast booth with us here. Congratulations. It was a tough one, wasn't it? Currently can't hear you, Simon.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, right, yeah, that was a tough one. Had a lucky break at the beginning, seemed to fly past people down the straight. After that, it was just a case of trying to keep it clean and watching the gap reduce to Regan and Aaron.
And then later Walker when he got past as well. Obviously, we already heard that people are going to be looking back in the replay. How do you feel considering the 2nd to last lap?
Was that with Aaron?
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I need to look back at it really.
Right.
All I felt was that the back end went out midway through the corner, and I think that's where we made contact. So I tried to keep as tight as possible, and then unfortunately the back went my hands. Unfortunately.
That's right. Yeah, a bit of a race incident. It's great to see that he did manage to recover. It had a couple of moments there as well. Great about your performance tonight is just minimizing the amount of damage, just trying to keep it out of the wall. Do you think you've achieved that goal for yourself?
Yeah, I kept it to a minimum, definitely. There was a couple of moments where I touched the wall, but I think I needed that just to stay where I was.
All right. Well, thank you so much for your time, and congratulations on that P1 finish. Mega job, obviously. Simon Wilkes with the defense of the evening. That's my award for sure. Have a lovely evening, and we'll talk to you hopefully again in 2 weeks. All right, and moving back on over that was the drivers, and obviously we have to talk a little bit about the race after it was over. It was quite hectic in some phases, and most importantly came down to the wire. That's for sure. Who was your driver of the evening?
I think I would be doing him a disservice if I didn't say 𝗬𝗓𝗪𝗔𝗥, just because he you know, just listening to him in the interview, he was saying that this is going to be his hardest track of the calendar, and he still pulled off a record second, I think, and that's something to be proud of. I don't want to ignore Aaron Walker. He did fantastic, and it was a real shame, you know, how it ended for him. But I kind of expected him to do that. You know, what I didn't expect was for 𝗬𝗓𝗪𝗔𝗥 to be fighting for first, and that's no disservice to 𝗬𝗓𝗪𝗔𝗥. I just don't think the Maserati can do well around Bathurst. And yeah, so that's the guy, that's the driver of the day for me, is 𝗬𝗓𝗪𝗔𝗥.
Yeah, I think it's a very fair point for you to say that. Honestly, seeing what he was able to achieve is just incredible, really. The Maserati in their final sector, I've tried it once, and exactly once, and that's for a reason.
Yeah, I wouldn't. I would definitely lead the Maserati up to the experts there, Niklas. I don't want to get involved in that car. There's too much for me to learn.
Might hit him up for a little bit of coaching, see what work he can do with it. So that is gonna be a wrap for us here tonight. Thank you so much for joining us. I hope you had a fantastic time. Checked out the timesheets on the Pit Wall Live, and maybe if you're interested in joining this season or any other sort of seasons, ACC, iRacing, they got all that. Check out gripfinder.com. That's your place to be. Leave you to it for a second here, Aaron. Thank you very much for joining me in the broadcast booth, as well as a beautiful production team. Steve proudly flexing here a little bit. I can feel it. I can sense it.
Yeah, no, thank you. No, thank you for having me, Niklas. It's been a cracking race today.
All right, and with that, we are gonna end it all. Bathurst, what a race. Make sure you replay and rewatch. Hit the thumbs up button if you enjoyed your time. It's gonna be a 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗡 next, I just heard, instead of Suzuka. Well, then the KTM is gonna have a rough one, I feel like. Either way, we hope that you join us either, I think, on Friday for the next race in the Simsport YouTube channel, or for the next GT4 when it comes around. Until then, have a good one.